It's one thing to know that ignorance is bliss in this world, but to actually go ahead and actually see it actually up close and personal is actually something that's totally different. And it's actually a bit mind-boggling, and it's really sad to really be a part of it or actually to be able to witness it firsthand. I actually should have really labeled this particular rant, I guess, stupid black people. But I'll go ahead and just kind of keep it the way it is because I don't want to come across as actually trying to sit there as if I'm actually sitting on a pedestal and looking down on, the black human race. Because of course, again, I'm black myself and proud to be black. But there's just some things I think, in my opinion, that most black folk shouldn't have. Notice I said most black folk because all black folks don't really fit into this particular category or this particular behavior on what I want to discuss, at this point in time. One of the main things, that I really actually look at and observe in some folks, and I know they probably do the same thing with me, is, our actions, our attitudes, and how we behave, when we become, quote unquote, a success. You know, Success in and of itself is not a bad thing, but really, success really lets folks know the real you. It actually takes away from what you once were, or what you pretended you were, or what you wanted other people to think that you were, and it actually exposes you for the person that you tried to hide yourself from previously. Or I should say, the character trait that you tried to hide that others wouldn't be able to see. And I think that sooner or later you really can't hide yourself from folks because again, the truth is going to come out and folks are going to really be able to see you for what you truly are. I say that because I actually had an interesting conversation recently with, I wouldn't call this person a particular friend, I would just say that it's someone that I know, pretty much, on a social media website for the most part, and they, actually, again, recently, I guess, achieved a major milestone in their lives, something that they worked hard for, nothing wrong with that. You have to work hard in order to move up. But after that, after achieving this particular level of attainment, they begin to come across as if, they know everything. When you offer opinions or what have you that differs from what they think or know, they begin to, I guess, come across to make you feel as if you don't know what you're talking about, simply because you don't have the level of achievement that they have. And for the most part, this is the only, or I would say the main behavior that I actually see in black folks. And really, to tell you the truth, that's why I really call this particular individual stupid. Like I say, it's not the fact that I'm actually trying to hide what I'm saying because, again, my thing about it is that I've already explained myself and actually conducted myself quite well, I must say, when dealing with people of that kind, to include that particular person. But it's a shame when we as black folks actually learn to actually behave in a certain way where it becomes synonymous with, who we are when we become, quote unquote, successful. Again, success in and of itself is not a bad thing. If anything, it's a great thing. It's something that we all, as human beings, strive towards and strive to be in or strive to be a part of, in the course of living. But with some folks, again, they don't know where to draw the line with actually being human and actually overinflating their self-worth. It takes really, I would say, strong folks to really hang around someone who thinks that they're all of that in a bag of chips once they receive a level of attainment. Again, nothing against, achieving, because again, that takes years of hard work, I can only imagine. But when you develop this attitude that, that everything that you say has to be the last thing that's said and nobody can't really challenge you on anything, that is when we actually become where it becomes a problem, where you have to be really put in your place. One thing about it is that, and I look at it this way, that's why I think with most black folks, and I hate to say it like this, that's why I think that there's not really much upward mobility from a lot of the majority of black folks on this planet because of our attitudes in how we treat one another once we feel that we've arrived. And and the funny thing about it is that, we feel that there is no one that can really tell us anything. We don't want to hear what other folks got to say that may differ from what you say or what you have, quote unquote, studied. And we think that our opinion or our statement or our fact or whatever is all that needs to be said about a matter, point blank, period. Nobody else can say anything about it. Now, see, one thing about it is that, again, when dealing with these type of people, you have to really be very strategic. And I say strategic with that, and I say it, because, again, you're not dealing with someone who's, quote unquote, normal, as I would say. And when I say normal, that means somebody who really thinks as, okay, looking at the fact that, okay, even though I have this, level of attainment, I'm still the same person. With most black folks, you're not dealing with these type of people anymore. When you're dealing with someone who's actually achieved a lot in life, you have to actually put on like a whole different persona in order to approach them. Because, again, for some reason, when you are actually yourself and actually want to conversate with them, they feel that they no longer speak your language. They feel that they are no longer, wanting to be associated with you simply because of what they've achieved, which makes them think that they are in a different class of people or in a different area of knowledge or a different intellect, so to speak. Common sense is common sense. Intellect is intellect, regardless of what achievement or what level of study that you achieved or attained. But for most black folks, and I call them stupid black folks, they don't see it that way. It's very sad when you actually have to sit there and actually look at the overall makeup of what we have become, what we've endured and what we've come from. And then to take on the attitude that I know it all and that, nobody can touch me. To me, that's very insulting. Like I say, I don't make this video to hate on anybody, but I'm the type of person that will actually become observant and actually really look at people and really just study them. Not trying to sit there and say that, I don't have any flaws of my own, because I'm human. I have flaws within myself. But one thing about it, what I will say, and this is not bragging, is that success does not change me. One thing about it is that I think black folks really need a wake-up call in the humility section when it comes to success. Because we forget who we are. We lose ourselves in what we think we are. And we don't really want to listen to what other folks got to say that really was there the whole time when you didn't have much. And it's those folks, really, the ones that was with you when you didn't have much, that was the main one that was motivating you and really praying for you that you become, this successful. And then when success, or when God opens the door and allows this thing to trickle down on you, then you want to turn around and actually be an ass. And that is one of the main things that really, really burns my hide. And it really, really says a lot about the person. It really says more about them than what they think. These type of folks, you really can't really want to be around them, because for some reason they always come across with their new body of knowledge saying, what is the definition of this and what does that mean, as if you're stupid, as if you are actually in a classroom with them, like they're wanting to try out their newfound intellect on you. And you have some folks that will actually play along with it, gullible ones that will actually go along with it. But see, when I come across someone like that, I want to know, okay, why in the world are you asking me this? Okay, what is your purpose? Are you trying to make yourself what? More important than what you actually are? Are you trying to prove some sort of point? I mean, it's very sad, and it's equally and double offensive when we do it to our own. I don't have anything against black folks moving up. If anything, we should actually be proud and actually be very humble to know, okay, that thank you, Lord, finally, you helped me these years to attain this level of achievement. And instead of acting like a jackass, thinking that the sun rises and the moon sets on your command, you really need to bring it down and put it in check. I don't understand why black folk has to be that way. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everybody probably knows somebody, and I'm talking about black folks here. I'm pretty sure that they know someone who actually didn't have much, and they worked their way up, whether it be through education, whether it be through the workforce, whether it be with whatever. And now they think that they're the world and all. Those type of people I really cannot stand. And I know that's something that God has to work on me with, the character building, but that is just something that really irks me. You came from the same ghetto that most black folks came to. You weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, son. Or daughter. Or whoever this may pertain to. But whoever's listening to it, if they happen to get a hold of this, they'll know who they are. Like I say, a bark dog or a hit dog collars all the time. But it's just the fact that it's just so insulting. It really is. And it really says more about them than they actually say. It's what you don't say that really says a whole lot to people. You're so arrogant. And the sad part about it is that you're constantly wanting to get people to engage into your newfound intellect. The minute that someone ignores you, you want to sit there and go into this whole rant like a female on PMS or whatever, like that is just wanting to be the center of attention. I mean, people, they are just like off the roof these days. I mean, it is just a shame. It really is. But this was just something that just came to mind, and I really didn't want to do a video about this, or I would have done a video about this later on. This was on one of my, things to do, but I guess I felt the need to actually go ahead and put it out now, since this was fresh in my mind, in recent events with a conversation that I had with someone that I know on a social media website. And like I said, there again, I'll say it again, there's nothing wrong with moving up in the world. Upward mobility is what it's all about, regardless of your race. But you can never forget that when you get to the mountaintop, or what you think is your mountaintop, you cannot sit there and look down on the folks that help push you up that mountain. All right? Peace out.